Jennifer, so far 5, and I'm told this isn't the first time they've been targeted. Police and federal agents are investigating a string of violent armed robberies targeting Hispanic stores in Lumberton. One worker was shot earlier this week.
It is real sad that my community is being targeting like that.
Amy Moscaso says she's a voice for the Hispanic community in Robeson County. Police tell me they've worked with her over the years to improve communication with the Hispanic community. Moscaso says right now they're just afraid to say anything.
My people, they're scared to speak. They're scared that those criminals will come back and hurt them and hurt their families.
Police released this surveillance picture from one of the robberies. Officers believe 2 people are involved and they're driving a silver or white 4-door car. Moscaso says this targeting isn't new.
It's been happening for many years since I've been here in this county.
She says their homes have been burglarized and some people robbed of cash. The ATF is offering a $7,500 reward for information leading to an arrest and or conviction in the most recent robberies. Moscaso says her community needs to help and cooperate with police even though they are scared. She shared this important message.
Please do not get scared. Report any crime that you are involved. That's why the law is for, to help you. Por favor, no tenga miedo de reportar un crimen en el cual usted está involucrado. Para eso están las leyes, para ayudarle.
Police say they could use more cooperation from members of the Hispanic community. They say oftentimes crimes against them go unreported.
Yeah, tonight, leaders with the state health agency, DHEC, are telling me that they're working to get you these test results as soon as possible. But even with the delays, they say they still recommend that you get a COVID-19 test if you have any symptoms at all. They say the most recent that they're seeing are congestion, cough, and sore throat. With COVID-19 cases in South Carolina breaking the 4th record in 2 weeks, DHEC leaders say some people could wait 1 to 2 hours at their PCR testing sites. The demand is so high, they're asking you to only call the agency's testing hotline after 72 hours have passed without results.
We have so many coming in that we are behind, but we also then have people sending multiple messages and leaving multiple voicemails.
Now, I asked DHEC leaders if they're improving, and they say most labs are now meeting the 72-hour deadline, but I also asked if they're expanding testing hours for the working class, as the latest a DHEC site is open in the Myrtle Beach area is 4 p.m. Leaders say they're asking vendors to stay open on the weekends, but note anyone with symptoms should stay home from work. In the meantime, they're spreading out the test across their 9 labs.
We are sending specimens. We are doing everything we can to get them to places where they can have the fastest turnaround time.
Now, at the same time, both CVS and Walgreens pharmacies show there are no rapid test appointments available, at least in the Horry County area, for the next few days. I asked both of those stores if they're increasing that availability, and CVS leaders say they've recently hired 23,000 employees, and Walgreens leaders directed me to a statement on their website saying they're working with lab partners to expand capacity. Now, in the case that you don't get a negative test result in time, DHEC leaders say pay attention to your symptoms. If on day 5 of symptoms, your symptoms are improving and you do not have a fever, you could be around others again on days 6 through 10, so long as you wear a mask when you're around other people.
Well, Jen, the impact of inflation is a challenge for all generations as people are becoming financially independent, paying for whole families, or maybe living on a fixed income. But for residents in the Palmetto State, there are a handful of ways that they can learn to save and budget. Coastal Carolina University Chairman for Economics and Finance, Dennis Edwards, says the surge in demand coming from 2021 has created an inflation rate affecting everything in our day-to-day lives as consumers.
Basically, inflation had nowhere to go but up. And what that's going to do is it's going to erode the purchasing power of young workers especially.
Edwards says the inflation is largely due to the COVID-19 pandemic. And financial advisor Joe Taylor says one of the best ways people can battle inflation as we continue to live in the COVID age is not by spending, but by saving.
Even though in inflationary times, cash is trash. Cash is your savior when things go wrong in your life and things that you can't predict. So regardless of what's going on with inflation, be sure you have a sufficient emergency fund to get you through hard times.
And along with saving, Professor Edwards says we need to ROBB.
Reduce, own, bargain, and budget.
He says reduce by not buying brand name products, own commodities and real estate if possible, bargain by looking at cheaper alternatives, and budgeting is key.
Write down an actual piece of paper. Write down how much money you've got coming in each month, those essentials that are going out, see how much you've got left over, and use that to try to build your emergency fund.
Another spending tip financial advisor Joe Taylor says people can practice if they're on a budget is not using credit cards. This will help them not have to pay money later, potentially, if they're spending it on it now.
Yeah, Jim, well, last summer, a landmark ruling by the SC Supreme Court. It took away the ability for local governments to enact a fee to cover that road work. Now, changes have been laid out in Columbia to appease and overlap that court's decision. The roads are long across Horry County.
We've got pretty much more roads than anybody else does, and so we have quite a need for it.
That need to pave and maintain. For the longest time, that was managed by one thing, the now $50 road fee.
That's what we have used to pave our dirt roads. I mean, that's where that money has typically gone.
But they haven't been able to use it since the summer. The SC Supreme Court ruled that the fees violate state statute, letting others reap the benefits, leaving fee payers with few rewards.
In other words, tourists are coming down here and they're not having to pay it, but yet they're benefiting from it.
The ruling paved the way for even more lawsuits. Horry, Georgetown, and Florence County all have cases against them now from neighbors asking for a refund.
What could happen is you could theoretically carry to its natural conclusion, the county would have to reimburse taxpayers this fee that has been charged since the 90s. It's millions and millions and millions of dollars. You could literally bankrupt county government.
After a lobbying effort by the county, Senator Greg Hembry now has a bill in committee ready to revise state law and reroute the fee off of its detour and back into action.
Although that case makes it subject to attack, hopefully with a statutory change, it would kind of take everything back to where it was and settle that problem down.
Now, county staff estimate the fee annually gives Horry County road workers more than $17 million to pave and patch up county roads.